I'm not gonna. No, what do I do?
All right.
What if I hit all these buttons? Will we fly?
No. That's the total destruction button. Don't hit that one.
I've got you right where I want you.
All right. SiriusXM 106.
Why are we British? Why?
Because all the great villains are British and they all destroy the world.
Luke Barland, are we doing it right? Since when are British people destroying the world?
They might be the ones to save it, actually.
Yeah.
Given recent events.
I know, right? Are we referencing Bond?
All right.
Where's my Aston Martin? We can't do this.
SiriusXM 106. It's volume, feedback. She's Lori. I'm Nick. With us are Tony Kanal, Tom Dumont, Adrian Young, and of course Davey Havok, collectively known as DREAMCAR, are in the building.
Woo-hoo!
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
I have never learned to drive, but DREAMCAR makes me want to get a license. I love this album. I love you guys so much.
Thank you, Lori.
Seriously,
Thank you.
This is one of my favorite records. Top 3 favorite records of the year so far.
Wait,
absolutely.
Have you? Do you bristle at the term supergroup?
We don't bristle.
Okay.
We kind of flutter.
Just once, I want somebody to come and go, no, we embrace it because look at us.
I mean, we're pretty super, and we're a group.
And they have capes.
Davey has all
I
the
have
capes.
I have cloaks more than capes.
All right. So how did this come about? Because I kind of figured that No Doubt and AFI had played together before, but no, it was Black Audio, right?
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, Black Audio definitely supported No Doubt when they invited us to do so at the Universal Amphitheater a few years back. Maybe it was the Gibson. Don't know. To us, it will always be the Universal, I believe.
That's correct.
If I never played with No Doubt, right?
Did we
No,
ever
I don't
play
think so.
radio shows together? though?
You would think so, but actually,
That's what I was thinking.
You know what? No, because AFI didn't start getting played on mainstream radio until later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get. I mean, we got some very minimal radio play in the Bay Area and San Francisco in like the early '90s, but beyond that, no, I don't.
We would have remembered seeing AFI.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why, because we saw it when Black Audio played with us, we took note. I mean,
Yes.
in a
That was
big
kind
way,
Yes.
clearly.
Although if we had been playing with No Doubt in like '95 or '96, we would have been playing like at the snack stand. And you guys would have been playing the main stage if it were 1995
I don't know
or
about
1996.
Right,
We
you-
would have been playing in your dressing room's bathroom
You would have been on like the
before you guys got
park
there.
your skateboard here stage where they're like on the huge one.
Yeah,
But we did cross paths many
Yeah,
times.
we did.
You know,
we did.
there were some moments of seeing each other
Mhm.
in different places.
Yeah.
Well, how did you come up with the idea of bringing Davey on board in the first place? I had read that you sort of wanted to take him on a date, one of my favorite restaurants, Crossroads in LA, and you basically kind of, you took him out on a date. What was it about Davey that said, we're going to take him out, we're going to test drive him for this project?
Yeah, when they said let's have dinner, did you know what was up?
Well, no, it was the date that caused them to want to ask me to join the band. It wasn't they took me on a date to join the band. It's like, they're like, we really want to take this guy out on a date. And they thought after, we, had our romance and,
Yep.
they had a few drinks in them. They're like, maybe we start a band with this guy.
We, Tom, Adrian, and myself have played together for many, many years, and we love playing together. We love hanging out together. We have a really strong friendship, and we don't take that for granted. We really we're grateful to have that history together, and we wanted to continue playing music, and it was about finding somebody who we felt could be a great fit for us, and Davey was that person. And like you said, we asked him on a date, and he was very sweet on this date, and we gave him 4 pieces of music, and we said, would you be interested in writing to this music? And he did very quickly and sent us those 4 pieces back, and that was the start of this new band.
Yeah, did you guys have a blueprint of what you wanted this to be like? Because I didn't really know what to expect, because I mean, both AFI and No Doubt have pretty distinctive sounds, and it kind of sounds like neither exactly, which is pretty amazing.
That's a good question, but we never had a blueprint of what the style of this band was going to be, and that remained throughout the whole writing and recording process. We were just making music and continuing to, because it was really an experiment, and we just kept experimenting, and it was pretty innocent, and there was no strict direction.
But to see, it's weird because now that I hear the record and knowing that you, Adrian, played with Bow Wow Wow, and Tony, years ago you told me one of the very first bass lines you ever learned was John Taylor, Some Like It Hot. You know, Davey, I know you're a huge New Wave fan. But it definitely has a New Wave feel, but it goes through this LA blender. Like, to me, it sounds like the Roxy on Sunset Strip. Like, it really has those Adamant, like, elements, and yet it's very modern and different.
I would dare to say new romantic even.
I would dare to say the same.
Very new 2017
romantic.
romantic.
Yes.
So when did you realize you started to have that kind of a sound, and did you like it? Were you like, oh, this is reminding me of like listening to Duran Duran growing up? Or
for me, upon hearing the music immediately, it touched on a lot of those elements that you're talking about, which really inspired me from a very, very early age, and inspired all of us from a very, very early age. And thus, when I heard that sound, I was immediately inspired by that music. When I received the first 4 songs that I wrote on those 2 evenings, which you hear on the record, and those leanings came through as we created, and being that the first 4 songs sat somewhere in that world, they kind of informed what we continued to do, but in a very natural way, again, as Adrian had pointed out, without really discussing it. And each song led to another, and eventually there was a greater continuity to what we were doing by way of just working together and enjoying what we were doing, and each song being something that really spoke to us, and leading to the next. So I think because that era, particularly the British side of it, was so informative to us, it just happened.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the album has a really sort of cohesive sound to it, and I'm curious. I mean, I know you say there wasn't like a blueprint, but I mean, you guys are writing music because you wanted to keep doing your thing. But I mean, how much of the stuff that you came up with initially for this young man to write to ended up on the album? Because I mean, it's cool, but it's like decidedly not No Doubt sounding. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does. Tom, how many songs do you think?
Well, what's funny is the first 4 pieces of music we sent Davey that he wrote to, and he came in and did demos, those all made it to the album. There was an energy in those first 4 that kind of propelled us, and we just kept writing one song at a time and sending him one song at a time. And so all these songs got written over a certain period, and then I think when the time came to record the album, we had the benefit of
sorry, that was Dan Rather walk by.
Yeah, I was going to say we always have people like walking by, and I'm like, please.
Can you have nobody walk by while I'm talking?
I swear to God, I was like,
security, keep the celebrities out.
I swear to God, I was like, please, nobody walk by and distract us.
No, but we and then we chose Tim Pagnotta to produce the album, and he, I think, did help us tie a lot together and make the sound cohesive, and he was just an amazing advocate in the studio, and he had this power to like zero in on details like the drum sounds and the granular sound of the album, and then he could come back out and focus on the song and the arc, and so that was a great experience. It was probably the fastest album at least we 3 have ever recorded. Wow. So it just came together so easily.
Yeah, there's so much joy in the playing. I mean, I hear it in the way you're beating the drums. I'm hearing it in every single instrument. And I just feel like it must have been a little bit frustrating. I love Gwen, and I know she's had so much success, but it must have been a little bit frustrating that you guys were kind of like, you're still artists, and you still wanted to go forward. And I feel like what you found with Davey, there's this joy in every single track. I mean, that opening track, let me hear, After I Confessed, oh my God, I like put that on the car. I wanted to pull over and start dancing. Like, did you feel like this total joy, when you play together?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you touched upon something really important. This has been fun from the moment we started till being here right now, except for not getting any sleep. We're having so much fun. I mean, the writing process was fun. Getting in the studio with Tim Pagnotta and fully realizing these songs was fun. And then sharing these songs with people now the record's out and playing them live has been fun. I mean, it's, I can't overstate how much joy we're getting out of this whole process, and I think that's what this was always about. It was about expressing ourselves creatively, and there were no parameters, there was no expectations because nobody knew about the band for so long.
Yeah, I heard you worked in secrecy. What's up with that?
How did you keep it so quiet? Because by the time I actually heard, I was like, yeah, the guys from No Doubt and Davey Havok. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
We just didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It can't be that easy in the internet era and social media.
You just don't get on the internet and type, hey, we're in a band. That's it.
Well,
Davey,
why
it's
didn't
not
you
real
tell
till it's
anyone?
on the
Because I
internet.
would be bragging about
Exactly.
that. I'd
Exactly.
be bragging. I'd be like, if I were you, I'd be like bragging. I'm with No Doubt, guys. And if I were you, I'd be like, wow, look who we got. Was it a matter of you really had to find what you had first?
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to make sure that this was going to be a real band. For starters,
right?
Because if this thing never came to fruition, or if we never finished an album, or for whatever reason it needed, we wanted to make sure we didn't put the, whatever the saying is,
The cart before the horse.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
I think too, it was a matter of we didn't want to announce it so early that it took 2 years to finish writing and finish. We didn't want to have this lengthy anticipation where people got fed up, like, what the hell's going on with your album? We wanted to wait till it was closer to being ready.
And then once it was ready, we wanted the music to speak for itself. People were going to have all sorts of misperceptions of what it might or might not be, or what they did or didn't want it to be. And with the exception of the leak, by the time we officially announced it was shortly thereafter that the music was released and people were able to hear what it actually is, as opposed to if they took the time to care about it, to think about what that is, and the music release.
We're talking to the man of DREAMCAR. I mean, this is interesting. So you guys did a couple of club dates, and then you debuted at Coachella.
Yeah, what was that like?
No pressure.
I heard you killed it.
Super fun. Again, Davey had played Coachella before, but Tom, Adrian, and myself had never played Coachella, so that was our first time of playing Coachella, even though we've been there many, many times. And
to unveil this new thing.
Yes, and we did some club warm-up dates before that, but yeah, Coachella was kind of the anchor date for this debut, and we were very fortunate to be given that opportunity. We got to play in the Gobi tent at, I think, about 7 o'clock on Saturday, and it was just a great time and a great location to play, and it was very exciting for us.
It was magic.
It was magical.
Can I ask you, how did the timing work? Because, I mean, of course, The Blood, you put out the AFI album in January, and then you guys toured a little bit, and you're going to tour again this summer, right?
Yep.
With AFI.
Yeah.
So, and you're touring with DREAMCAR. So, how did this all work?
It's very focused scheduling. Truly. Yeah. I'm here with you now, with the boys right now. Right after this, I jump on we're going to tour dates. DREAMCAR is going to tour dates across the East Coast, and then I'll have a couple days off, and I get back on the road with AFI. East Coast, we go to England, come back, more AFI, come back, more DREAMCAR, come back, more AFI.
You're like the post-punk James Brown, hardest working man in show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask, we talked about the secrecy. When did you tell your other partners? When did you tell the guys in AFI? When did you tell Gwen? Because it's interesting to me, I know you did the Talk song, It's My Life. I feel like if I were Gwen, I'd be jealous that I'm not on this record. When did you tell your significant others?
Or
your married partners?
When we started, after DREAMCAR had the conversation and we started writing, it was many years ago at this point. I know Jade and I are always working on music. We were either finishing up the Burials record or we were working on the Black Audio Material record, but we're always together and we're always working. And so I told him immediately, but I waited to tell Hunter and Adam until we DREAMCAR were sure that it was something that was going to happen. So it was like actually maybe like it took us a while before we realized, okay, this is actually going to be something. Maybe a year in before I told them. Everyone was really excited and
Wow.
really looking forward to hearing it. And they've all come to the shows, and it's really nice to
It's funny.
be able to
Good
sing to
to have
my
their
band. Yeah,
support.
yeah.
You guys brought up Tim Pagnotta.
Wait, we have to hear when Gwen heard.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
it was similar for us. We wanted to make sure this was a real thing, and and then once we realized this is going to be a real band, we let her know.
And she was totally cool. And she was like, "Can I sing backup, please?"
She's been really supportive. She's been posting on social media her support of the record, which we appreciate.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I saw that, and I was thinking, I mean, it's almost like, what happens if this is like a huge success? Because it's kind of everybody's side project, for want of a better term. Like, what happens if it's just too big?
Big parties. What is too big?
Well,
You could never be too big.
Never be too big.
all right, fair enough. Let's take a quick break. And do we have to let them go? Or we...
No.
All right. Well, I don't want to. I'm just listen. I'm a cog in the corporate radio machine. I'm just saying. We'll be right back with DreamCar. Stick around. I'm Adrian and Davey with us. Can we talk about the vocals for a second?
Let's
Yes.
let's go for more than a second.
Okay. Let's give it at least 5. No, I love the vocals because
Thank
they're like these awash in these harmonies. And two-part question. We're talking about Tim Pagnotta, who produced the record of the band Sugar Cult, and he did Walk the Moon, and what was this is another big one. Was it Neon Trees?
Neon Trees.
Okay. How much of his hands-on stuff worked on you? Like, I mean, I feel like the vocals on this aren't exactly AFI. They aren't exactly black audio. Did you feel like you had to do something completely different for this?
Oh, I didn't feel like I had to do anything. But I was inspired to do something completely different. Actually, if it had not inspired me to do something different, I wouldn't have taken it on, because there would have been really no reason to do it if it was touching on something that I'd already done before, or that I'm doing. Really, more importantly, that I'm already doing. If I'm already doing it, I'm already doing it. So it was that it really allowed me to express myself in a way vocally that is such an important part of my musical upbringing that I hadn't really gotten to express before this time. And so it was very fun for me and very cathartic for me in that way, being that there are all of these influences that are expressed through DREAMCAR and allow me to sing and use my voice in a way that I do use personally, but I've never used publicly before. And that music, you hear it, as you pointed out, you hear different aspects of my voice, and lyrically it's a bit different. And as I was writing the songs, I was really inclined to build it in the way you do. There's a lot. It's a very vocal dense and very saturated. And, I'm singing with myself over and over and over on the record. And, singing with Tim was really a pleasure. It was with ease that we sang on this record.
It's got to be nice to sort of like unapologetically wear your influences on your sleeves without any problem. Like, I don't know if this is going to fit into the construct of the band that I'm already in. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I don't really care what people think of me.
Whoa.
Listen.
Yeah.
That's the best.
I don't
so
I don't
nice.
need you to assert your independence around me, mister.
It's so nice.
Well, as for the people who do care a lot about you, I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask about the fan situation, because so you play Coachella, only the biggest festival next to Glastonbury in the world is your debut, but you're on this great little tour now. I'm so excited for the Irving Plaza show, which is this week. You played the Roxy out in LA. These are places that AFI and No Doubt were kind of too big to play. So what's it like going back into these really cool, intimate venues?
It for me, it reminds me of the early days of No Doubt. And No Doubt was a band playing in clubs, in sweaty, packed clubs for a long time, for years. And we were good at it. And it was, there's as much energy in a 500-seat club as there is in a 20,000-seat arena. There really is, because it's packed in and it's contained. And so for this band to get back to that level of connecting to people where you can see everyone in the room and everyone's sweating and the walls are dripping, and it's just super fun.
That's going to be amazing, because I'm sure that like a lot of people don't even see you in that regard. Because I mean, because No Doubt was it was like being shot out of a cannon by the time like Tragic Kingdom came. You know what I mean?
It's true, but for some reason, because we did those clubs for years, to me, going back on stage at the Roxy feels super familiar. It just doesn't seem like that long ago that No Doubt did it. It doesn't seem odd at all.
And are you seeing like there's the AFI fan and there's a No Doubt fan, and now you're creating fans of both and DREAMCAR fans?
Absolutely, we're all seeing really familiar faces, which is so nice for us, and we're so grateful to be out there playing shows when we were, which was before anyone really had heard music. When we first started playing the shows, there was only one song publicly released, and so people were coming and buying tickets and showing up and selling out all the West Coast shows to come just check it out and hear us just based on our individual history. And that's such great support, and we really such passion to do that. And there were very few phones. We noticed that, which is very rare these days, to have a performance and not just have everyone documenting and filming and putting it on Instagram and Facebook just to show people that they were there rather than experiencing it. Yeah, they were so they were curious. They were really there to hear it and curious and to actually hear the music for the first time, because no one had really heard it before. And so we've been playing the whole record, and we still are now that the record is out as of last Friday, which was very exciting. But before then, they'd heard 1, 2, maybe 3 songs by the time I think the second Coachella hit, or was it the first? There were 3 songs. Like at midnight before our first Coachella performance, Dead Girls was released publicly. But and
it's
even
just so goth.
It's
I'm like, whoa, so fun.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is a fun song. It's a really fun song to perform.
But Nick and I talk a lot about supergroups, and it is not a foregone conclusion that fans of either group will show up for these kinds of things. Sometimes supergroups form and like fans just kind of turn up their noses at it. So it's, to me, when we debuted Kill for Candy on our New Music Friday, Nick, we had phones, tweets, people were going crazy for it. You had out of the gate the kind of love I don't see for a lot of these supergroups.
Yeah, there's people going, this doesn't sound like Asia.
Right.
Was Asia a supergroup?
I didn't know Asia was a supergroup.
What were the
Who were they?
Yeah,
it was like Emerson, Lake, and Palmer without those Emerson and Lake guys.
Whoa, really?
Got it.
R.I.P. John Wetton.
Yeah,
got it. Well, look, we do really appreciate it. Like Davey said, it's the fact that the fans of all of our projects have shown faith and shown up and supported us so far. We are very appreciative of that. We don't take that for granted. And so far, like at the shows, what we've been getting back from them has been incredible. And I can't wait to play these shows on the East Coast that are coming up starting on Thursday, because now the record's actually out. People will know the whole album. So.
Yeah.
But Tom was saying, like before you came back on the air, when you guys started this, there was nobody. There was no manager. There was no label. There was nothing. So I mean, what was the impetus? Of course, No Doubt was kind of like in hibernation, but we just like, we have to do something.
It was about being creative, and having an outlet. And in a way, I think that Davey kind of gave us that gift of being able to create in a band unit again, and not having a label or a manager or any fans yet or any expectations gave us, I think, a lot of freedom to experiment and find out who we were going to be, and all that, I hope, comes through in the record.
So when other people started to get involved, I mean, because unless you're just going to put everything up on SoundCloud, when everybody started to get involved, whoever was going to help you to get to where you are today, was it like, okay, well, is it No Doubt? Is it AFI? What is it? Did people already put their expectations on it before they'd heard anything?
Well, I don't think we surrounded ourselves with those people. We wanted people who, the people that are with us and we surrounded ourselves with are people who understood that this is a completely new thing that wasn't about those other projects.
Right on.
And they heard the music immediately. That's actually, we had been demoing from a very early stage, so when Mark Williams from Sony came in, who was one of the first people to actually be interested in us by way of his longstanding relationship with the boys, he sat in our rehearsal studio and listened to about 20 songs, 20 demoed songs, and that was his first impression.
Really?
Of
We left him alone. We invited him to the studio. We gave him headphones, and we left him alone. We all went to get coffee, and when we came back, he was dancing.
He was dancing.
He was dancing.
He didn't know we were in the room, and he was having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a crazy moment.
Yeah, it was
and I
neat.
love Mark, and I love that he reacts to music with bodily movements.
With his booty moving.
Yeah.
Yes. That's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
It was almost a hip thrust going on at the desk.
What about the title DREAMCAR? How hard was that to come up with?
That was very difficult. I mean, one
Biggest challenge of the
yeah,
band.
it was the only challenge of the band was trying to come up with a name that we all felt spoke to what we were creating, and when we came upon DREAMCAR, we knew that was it. But another hurdle that we had to overcome was it being 2000, well now 17, but it being the era that it is, where everyone is a band, and the internet has just probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of band names that are taken and that you can't have.
But is this like your Ferrari? This is the dream, that this is the car you've always wanted to have?
Well, I mean, that's one way of looking at it. And that's the thing about the name, is that it evokes, very different thoughts and images in different people. For some people, the dream car is the Ferrari. For some people, it's a vintage Ferrari. For some people, it's a new supercar. For some people, it's this idyllic, or this unattainable, or the reachable, or the fast, or the smooth, or the the romantic, or the powerful. And I think that each individual can take something different from this record as they can from what the band's name means to them. But it is dreamy, and it does speak of freedom, and so we are dream car.
I have to tell you, I mean, as somebody, like, she and I fight because she's like, you're so jaded. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm dead inside. I admit it. But I was so stoked about this record. Exactly. I like these guys, Hearse. They express my inner feelings.
I wonder if there's a band called Hearse.
Oh, they gotta be like
that'd
that.
be great.
A heavy band.
If Witch House was still happening. Wow.
No,
that's
but
a great Witch House.
But I mean,
bring it back.
I haven't been this stoked about an album in a long time.
Thank
when
you.
I finally heard it, I was like,
Thanks.
wow.
Thank you.
And plus, it was almost like I was a little reluctant to listen, because I was like, yeah, the No Doubt guys and Davey Havok. Oh, what if it sucks?
Right?
But it doesn't.
Fair enough.
It's like two bands I love. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a minute or so left, and I just wanted to ask Tony about the Circle V festival that you worked on with Moby last year.
Yes.
Are you going to be? I saw him on Saturday. He's very psyched. Are you a part of it again
I
this
am,
year?
yeah.
And maybe we'll DREAMCAR, maybe?
Possibly. We'll see where that goes, but we are making plans to do the festival for the second time this year, and I'm actually missing all the meetings while I'm out here, so they're briefing me on what's going on. But
They're pushing you out.
They're pushing me out.
Mhm.
This is how they pushed me
This
out.
is- yeah.
Exactly. But it's been it was a great first year, and it's Circle V is our all vegan festival, and we celebrate veganism and animal rights, and I think it's focused on music, and it's kind of the first of its kind in that sense. There's a lot of great vegan food fairs and such, but this one's primarily focused on music.
But you don't have to be vegan to go.
Absolutely
You
not.
don't.
No.
And I love your little
Come on,
Meat
come
is
on.
Murder Smith's pin that you're wearing, Mr. Tony. It's very nice.
Always representing.
Final question. Is this just internet hokum, or does your dad actually have an AFI tattoo?
He has two.
Oh, that's so badass.
Yes, he does. Isn't that nice?
That is awesome.
He's the best.
I didn't know that.
Love you, Dad.
I didn't
yeah.
either.
When late, when the first one he got was a image from the 2000 AFI record, but when the 2003 record went gold, he celebrated by getting an AFI tattoo, and then when it went platinum, he added to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Added 2003 imagery to it.
Oh, that's so badass.
It's
so
true.
cool. Whoa.
He's fantastic.
All right, well, we got to let you guys go. The album is out. Pick it up for sure. Download it. However you kids get music these days. You got to come back for sure.
Yeah,
We'd love to be
please.
back.
I can't wait to see the concert on Friday here at Irving Plaza. And like Tony, Adrian, like you guys, Tom, you mean so much to me. It's so good to see you again. And Davey.
Davey, you're all right
Yes.
too, man.
I'm all right.
My fellow New Wavers.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
good to have you here.
Thanks for listening, guys. We are out. DREAMCAR the building.
Thank you, guys.